Hey router enthusiasts, this is Rick Rosendahl, and today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Rabbet dado joint using a 1/4-inch spacer fence on the router. So without further, let's get into the video and watch me route Rabbet dado joints.
The next step is a combination joint, and this is going to have a dado on 2 pieces and a rabbet on 2 pieces. The ones that we're doing here is on the dados are going to be the longer pieces, so that's these pieces here, and the shorter ones are going to have the rabbet. The first cut we're going to make is going to be a dado. So I'm going to set the rabbets aside, and let's take a look at the setup we have here. I'm going to get a piece here, 1/4 inches actually, because we're working with 1/2 inch thick material. We have to use a 1/4 inch spacer. Now, what we've got is a 1/4 inch fence, we've got a 1/4 inch space, and we've got a 1/4 inch router bit. And the height of the bit is half the thickness material, which is 1/4 inch. It's really tough to set up. So we've got the 1/4 inch depth height, 1/4 inch bit, 1/4 inch space, and a 1/4 inch fence. Let's take a look at the pieces here now. I've marked the pieces where I've got the best side out, and we put X's always on the best side. On the rabbets, the same side has got the best side out, so you don't get them confused. On the inside, you'll see some knots or imperfections, and usually you want those to be on the inside of the box if you have those. All right, now we're ready to cut this. The first thing we need to do here is get some ear protection on, and we'll put that in place. The next thing is I'm going to need a push block, because when we cut it across the grain, it's going to want to tear out the piece, and we don't want that to happen. And the last thing is, let's make sure that when we're setting up that all the routers are unplugged before we make the setups. Let's go ahead now and let's cut it. So we'll start off with just making the dados. Now there's the dado cut. All across the edge, got a little furry edges on that. We're going to have to clean that up before we put it together, assembly. But you also notice that those dados are on the inside, or marked on the inside, and the X is on the outside. So we're going to set those aside now. The next cut we want to make is going to be the rabbet. Now if we start setting this up here so we can see how the pieces go together, that means now instead of cutting on the bad side, we've got to cut on the good side. We're going to keep the X's to the fence for doing the rabbets. So we'll set these pieces aside for a moment and get the pieces that we need to be cutting next. The other thing we need to do is, in order for us to make that rabbet cut, we're going to have to use a spacer fence or a block in here that's going to set us aside so that we've got the cutting edge right tight to the fence. Now all we do to make this is flip it around, cut the groove through your piece, and then use it as the block that holds you in place. Now, before you use this, you must clamp it down. So we're going to clamp it down so it doesn't take away on us or get away on us. Tighten that up. Now let's go back to the pieces now. Remember before, when we were doing the dado, we had it down. Now what we're doing is we're doing the rabbets, and we have to make sure that we keep it tight to the fence and keep the X to the fence, because we want the groove on the outside. Now another good thing to do is let's use the block, but let's put the block on the side here, which is going to help it keep us perpendicular when we're making our cuts. All right, we're ready to go. Let's cut it. After cutting the dados and rabbets and checking the fit, I chucked up a 5/32 Romanoggi bit and moved on to molding the lid and the base.
All right, there you go. We got Rabbet dado joint with a 1/4 inch spacer fence. And that's it for today. Talk to you next time.